Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Face the Black Nation. So, I'm pretty sure right now, if you've been living under the rock, that you've been hearing how YouTube has been blowing up over this chick. Her name is Pearly Things or something like that. She is as you can see on the screen, your basic, extremely basic, average Caucasian woman. And she is supposedly is the new or the next best Kevin Samuels because she speaks on issues that men like to hear, which is fine. It's always good for men to have allies from women, to have a voice from women who speaks on the things that women does, which is toxic. Because sometimes if you don't have women that speaks on the things that toxic women do, then that means that they're being complacent. So there was an interview that Pearly Things did with Nick Fuentes, and he is a well-known, allegedly WS white supremacist, and he has spoken some disparaging things about black people in particular. Well, she had interviewed him. Now, here is as you can see, a Caucasoid who had a conversation with someone who has a reputation of being negative and spewing negative stereotypes against black people. She had him on her show. So you mean to tell me that the people in her group, people in her circle, that she didn't know who he is? Well, she did know who he was, because in the video that I did see, she asked him a question. Now, what is it that makes you, or what makes people call you a white supremacist? And so he went on to speak about the things that he says, in particular, how that immigrants, in particular black immigrants, work harder than black Americans. So that's one. And we all know that that is a lie, because there are black Americans who do work hard. There are some who work up to 2 to 3 jobs in order to make ends meet. A lot of these Africans that comes over here, they are sponsored and they are given bank loans. And I used to work for Citizenship and Immigration Services, so I do know about this, and I do know the applications. I have mentioned the applications before in my videos previously about that, what they need in order for them to get so that they can receive these benefits. So these individuals, they come over here and they get the benefits from America, which puts them ahead of us, benefits that we are not afforded. So we black Americans, we are not given those type of benefits. And so, because you have to think about this, how is it that you can come from another country with zero credit, and then you come here and within 5 to 6 months, you are opening up a business store. You're opening up a business. You were given a business loan. You have to ask yourself that question. And not only just that, they are able to go to different schools, especially black immigrants. They will go to these HBCUs because they have scholarships that is tailored towards them so that they can go to that university, which was a university that was meant for foundational black Americans, because during the time, it was a time when these white colleges was not allowing black students to attend their college, so they had to create their own. So with that being said, so you have Pearly Things, who had this well-known WS on her program, and she in so many ways agreed with him in those thoughts, and she also agreed with him as far as saying that slavery was over exaggerated. Now, you're not going to find her bringing on someone who is a J and ends with W. She's not going to bring somebody on who is one of them and then say that the Holocaust was over exaggerated. She's not going to do that, because her show would end drastically. They would strip her off her show with the quickness, and and then she would be back in the poorhouse, because if you look at her, it looks like that's where she's from. And by her speaking in a chameleon tongue of the things that men, in particular black men, wants to hear, by her giving or aligning herself with the so-called manosphere, she really just shown her face. But see, here's the thing. When you invite Caucasian into your circle, into a black circle, you should already know that they are a chameleon or that they are an agent. You should already know that, because we have history of how white people will bring themselves into our spaces, learn our language, speak our lingo, so that they can become accepted, so that they could come in and to seek to divide and to destroy. Because see, she got a lot of black men who have subscribed to her to the point that she's over 1 million subscribers. You know, she took over Kevin Samuels' people, and now she has this much, and she brought on somebody who has a negative thoughts and feelings and actions against black people. She knew exactly what she was doing. See, she waited until she got to a certain status in order for her to spew, I'm sorry, not to spew, but in order for her to take off her clothes, so to speak, to let her hair down in front of her own counterpart, which is a white man. See, she's going to be loyal to that white man no matter what. She could be saying all these things that's good, that black men wants to have their ears tickled and so forth. She could be saying all of that, but at the end of the day, she is going to be a suspected WS. That's what she's going to be. And then her actions, by her having the individuals that she had on, proves that what I just said is that she is a suspected WS. White women should never be trusted. We have too many examples of how they have been used to go after our men, and how they have been used to get our men deleted. This is the reason why we call them Karens. The reason why is because they constantly call the police with the hopes of getting a black man deleted. Now, I do know that there are issues that black women have with black men, and I do speak upon those issues. But see, I'm a black woman, and I am coming from a good place. White women, not so much. When was the last time you ever had a white woman coming from a good place to help black men? You haven't had that. If anything, you had white women that came from a bitter place, from a dark place, to hurt black men. And I could go right back to Gloria Steinem. We could go back to the days of slavery as to how they forced our men to sleep with them. If they didn't, they would say that they have been raped by them, which would get our men exterminated or tortured in some form of fashion. That's what she has done to our men. So for the life of me, I don't understand how our men can look at this doggone woman who smells like a wet animal when it rains outside. You know, that four-legged animal. I'm not going to say it, but that's how they smell after the rain hits them. There's a special smell to them. Even Sister Shahrazad Ali said that in the Hidden Colors 5 video, like when she was talking about how black women, when they date a white man, they have to get used to a particular smell, which it is true. So for our black men, and for them to tie themselves up with this woman who really is a chameleon, who really is a two-faced individual, for the life of me, it just goes to show you that our men, our people in particular, because black women, you fit in this as well when you divest, is that they always need to seek gratification from white society. They always feel the need that they have to get their hats pat on the head in order for them to feel or to make themselves seem like, okay, I am contributing to society. They have to get the approval from white mommy and white daddy in order for them to feel that way, which is very pathetic in so many levels. It just goes to show you that your self-esteem is extremely low. You want to talk about black women's self-esteem being low? Your self-esteem is very low as well, because you want to get the approval from somebody who is extremely basic, a woman that you know good and well that you wouldn't even look twice at. You wouldn't even look her way. You wouldn't even look her way as she's walking down the street because of how homely she looks. But because she is using words that tickles your ears, that tickles your fancy, then you're like, oh, she must be one of our allies. I have to ask you again, when was the last time you heard of a white woman being an ally to black men? I could tell you about when white women has been the enemy to black men. I could tell you that, and I just told you that. I just told you. All the way dating back to slavery. I even gave you some names of an individual. I'm always talking about it because they have been the ones who disliked our black men with a deep hatred, just like how their white men have a deep hatred for black men as well. See, black men has always been the target. So I don't know why in the world our black men would think that out of the blue that they are going to get somebody who's going to be on their side, who has a history of being their enemy. I don't get that. They have always proven themselves to be your enemy, but now all of a sudden they want to be on your side? I don't think so. And then she over here talking about her workers. Because she came out with a video and she was trying to specify what she mean about the immigrants, about the black immigrants, and how her workers, some of them who are black or whatever, blah blah blah, things to that nature, trying to clear up her name because she did take down the video because people was coming after her, and one name in particular, Jason Black. He really came after her. He really broke it down as far as that conversation that she had with Nick Fuentes, who again is a white supremacist who has the mindset of a white supremacist. But if you want to say suspected, go right ahead. But he broke that down, really exposed her in such a way of throwing off the face that she used to cover her true face, her true intention. And her intentions is that she really don't care for black people as well. Because if she did, what is it that she is doing to destroy the system of white supremacy? I'll say that again. If she was really for black people, if she was really down for black men, what is it she's doing to destroy the system of white supremacy? She should be using her platform, seeing that she got the platform that she craved, that she wanted, and she got the people that she craved and that she wanted. She could use her platform to go after white supremacy. But see, she is not going to do that. You want to know why? Because she needs the protection of her white men. She knows that she is going to be the damsel in distress when it comes to dealing with white men. She's not going to lead them completely. See, she may say some things that may make feminists upset and stuff like that, which is true. Some of the things she says is true that I do understand. But guess what? I don't trust her. Why? Because I don't trust white people. I don't trust white people at all. They may say some things that may sound good, but guess what? You have to ask, what's their ulterior motive? There has to be one. There has to be a motive behind them for saying all of this, because ain't nowhere in the world they're going to sit up and risk everything without them having some type of motive behind it. What is it that they are doing to help destroy the system of white supremacy? She could be speaking about those things. She could be speaking about going up against the system. She could be speaking about how our men are being unjustly locked up for crimes. And we seeing so many of our black men are being released from prison after being in there for 30 to 40 years for a crime that they did not commit. All thanks to the 3 strikes law that Biden who came up with it in the 90s. She could be talking about all of that, but she is not. But instead, she sides along with Ben Shapiro. She sides with him, and we all know how he feels about black people. He does not mince his word when it comes to how he feels about us. So she has a liking of Ben Shapiro, and then she has a liking to Nick Fuentes. She has a liking to individuals who has a dislike to black people. So again, you have to ask these black men, what is it that you see in her? Is it that you want white validation from her, that you want mommy to come and put her hands around you and give you a hug? You see, you have people that's talking about people are taking what she's saying out of place, or they're nitpicking over what she's saying. No, there is nothing to nitpick over what she said and what she did and what she agreed with. We saw what she agreed with. We heard her replies. We saw her reaction when Nick Fuentes was talking to her. And then we also saw how she came out with a video trying to backpedal and talking about I didn't mean to say that about slavery and how it wasn't all that, how it shouldn't have been over exaggerated or things to that nature. You see, this is exactly what they do. And black men are doing what? They're coming to her defense. Why? Because they want their platforms to grow as well, to be like hers. They want to be able to grow and get to their numbers like her numbers are, so that they can be able to spew whatever it is that they want to spew to a large audience as well. That's what they want. See, white women don't have to work so hard. As you can see, she did not have to work hard. She didn't have to put in decades in order for her to get the numbers that she has got. The only thing that she had to do was to say the same talking points that Kevin Samuels said, and then connect with certain people while she is able to say what she needs to say, while making men, in particular black men, feel good about her. And bam, she got them, and then her numbers went through the roof. She just literally popped up out of nowhere. What is it that we always say about white people who comes in out of nowhere with the so-called handout saying that they want to help you? They are agents of chaos. They are part of COINTELPRO. Her whole mindset, her whole game is to come in and to destroy, to figure out what black man is saying so that she could take this information back to her group of people, to help further sow the division that's already there among black women and black men. She's not there to unify. We have black women like Sister Shahrazad Ali, who has always been speaking to the black community to unify the black community. Our black men are not giving her the grace that she deserves. You may have some that talks about her, that say that they like her, they love her, or they may want to quote her, but are they giving her the love and the grace that she really deserves? No, they are not, because if so, they would be propping her up all over the place all over again. She would be the one that is on everyone's tongue every single day. She would, but she is not. And so we have this Caucasian woman who are men, because they need to have that validation. They are the ones who propping this chameleon up, who's really going to hurt them in the end. This is what I see, because from what I am seeing, she's connected with certain groups of people. And by her connected with certain groups of people, that should tell you about her character or who she lets on. Now, if she gets with certain type of black men, then we all know exactly what she is going to try to do with them. She is going to dress them up to eventually hang them. That is what white people do. They dress you up. They fatten you up, only with the sole purpose of causing damage in the end. That is exactly what these people do. We seen them do this. Look at what's happening to Jonathan Majors right now. Jonathan Majors on the cover of Ebony magazine had on some Mary J. Blige type of heels, some boots with a pink skirt or whatever it was. It could be a dress or a skirt, but it was pink and it was very feminine, and he had his lips perked, just looking like a duck. And a Caucasian woman that he was with over here made some charges, over here lied about him, and he called 911, or one of them called 911. I don't want to say, but one of them called 911, and the police ended up arresting him over domestic battery, over assault charges. That's it, assault charges. Now that woman has recanted her story, but guess what? The media throughout the entire weekend, they was in the news talking about his assault case. But when you had Dana White, a white man who let his pimp hand down on his wife publicly, they did not speak about him at all. You rarely heard anything about him at all. Why? Because he is a white man, and they viewed him as someone who was very important to ESPN. So no one was going to speak out against him. But here you have Jonathan Majors, who is over here. His reputation now is ruined. There's no coming back, because there's literally people out here saying that even though if there is a video, they still don't believe it. I kid you not. I saw a woman say that in her comment. A woman literally said in her comment on Facebook, and she said, I don't care if there is a video that proves him being innocent. I'm still going to believe that, because something could have took place from the cab or to them going home. Something could have took place. I kid you not. So he is damaged already. See, they fatten you up. He just came off of a popular movie Creed 3, he was about to head on to another movie, about to do something big with that as well. And then this accusation comes up, and after he done looked like a clown on Ebony magazines, always perching his little lips to look like he's about to kiss somebody, all of that is not saving him. And guess who's doing the damage? It isn't a black woman. It isn't her. So it just goes to show you how these women are not meant to be trusted. I have always said that. Now, I do understand about black women. I have made countless of videos and will continue to make countless of videos about black women and their toxic behavior, because I can do that as a black woman, because I see it every single day around me. I could speak on that. See, we should not be having white people speak on our issues, but we have too many of our people that want to hear from white people, because if they hear from white people, then what they're saying must be true. See, they can't hear anything from another black person and actually accept it as saying, you know what you saying actually makes sense, and it is correct, and it is true. The white man's ice is always colder. That's how it's always been, and that's how it always has been. The white man's ice is always colder. And this is a very sad situation, a sad state that our black men are in right now. You literally propped up an extreme basic female, an extreme basic Caucasian woman. You propped her up. And you propped up this chameleon just because she was saying some words that tickled your ears, that tickled your fancy. That's the whole point of them. In order to fatten you up, understand what you're talking about, learn your lingo, just so that they can be able to fit in, just so that they can get enough information and to pass that information on to who? To their white men. To which their white men don't give a damn about you, black men. They never did. History has shown us that. So what is it going to take for you, black men, to get that through your thick skull, that the white men and the white women hate your guts? They hate you. This is the reason why black men are oppressed and suppressed in every which way. It does not matter. You can be a billionaire. Even Jay-Z himself said he faces racism, and he is worth $1.2 billion. And he says he still faces racism. So you can have all the money in the world. You can be a millionaire, but to white people, you just a nigger with money. They still gonna belittle you. They still gonna mistreat you. They still gonna remind you that you are just a boy in their eyes. That's what they are going to remind you of, that you are just a boy in their eyes and nothing more. You would never be a man. You would never be a man. And they will tell you how to dress, and they will tell you what to wear. They will tell you what type of food you should eat, what type of drink you should consume. They will tell you all of that. And you can do all of those things, jump through the fire hoops for them, bend over backwards for them, but they will still remind you that you just a nigger. That's all you are, and you're nothing more. That is the lowest of the low. You can be an educated black man. You can have a business. You can have a YouTube career. You can do whatever it is that you want. But to a white woman and to a white man, you're nothing. You're absolutely nothing. You will never be anything in their eyes. So why in the world are you out here trying your best to get in good graces with a white man and with a white woman? Why? Why are you trying to break your neck to get on their show just so that you could prop your YouTube video up? You mean to tell me that you can't do it on your own? Is that what you mean to tell me? You can't do this on your own. That you over here had to get and latch on to somebody who really could give a damn about you and who has proven that they don't give a damn about you. But yet you want to say, oh, I want my numbers to go up. Are you serious? When you should be out here talking about white supremacy and talking about black empowerment. See, you so-called black people, you black men out here want to talk about pro-blacks. You should never have to say that you're pro-black. You should always be black first. You should always have the mindset of being black and loving being black. Yes, there are some toxic black women out here, but there are some good black women out here. But see, you have to ask yourself, who is it that you're hanging around with? Why is it that you're always running into toxic black women? Is it because that's what you're attracted to? You are what you're attracted to, right? So if you're a toxic man, you're going to attract a toxic woman. That's just how it is. It's 1 + 1 = 2, not 8. That's just how it is. So for you all want to be up here and you all want to be like, oh, I got to get with this woman because it's a business move on my end. It's a business move because she got clout. So I want to latch on to her. She reached out to me. So I want to latch on to her. But you seeing the individuals that she's trying to bring onto her program, which she knows are no good and who have proven themselves to be an enemy to the black community. You don't care. You're just thinking about, oh, I want to get my numbers up and that's it. See, Kevin Samuels got y'all niggas shook because he's been on, the minute he switched his style up and started talking to black women, that's what he did. He started talking to black women and he got them numbers up. When he was talking to black men, those numbers wasn't going anywhere. See, black women are the ones who were subscribing to him because black women were the ones going on to his show. They was going on to his show, talking to them while he was belittling them. Why? Because they wanted to hear the truth and he gave them the truth. So now you got this white chick, this basic ass white chick who over here trying to talk and sound just like him. Her numbers went through the roof just like that as well. And you all are trying to latch on to that? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You mean to tell me that you can't do your stuff organically? This takes a long time to do. I'm trying to do this, but guess what? I'm not over here trying to latch on to anybody that's going to hurt our people. If anything, I am for our people. So I get on panels like Nicole's View panels and others who are for black empowerment, who are for raising their people and letting their people know that things are going to get better and the way how you should do it and how you go about doing that. That is what I like to associate myself with. Now, there may be some other panels that I may get on, but if it's speaking about black issues as to how we should do better, then those are the panels that I do get on, that I do show up on. I really indeed do. But this woman here, she is not to be trusted. You should never be trusting white people in the first place. Because what is it that they have done to earn your trust? They have done nothing to earn your trust. If anything, they have done any and everything in order for you not to give them your trust. They have hurt you in so many ways. In so many ways. What is it that it's going to take for you to get through your skull that these people are not your friends? They're not even your associates. If these people were truly your friends and they was your associates, they would be doing any and everything to end white supremacy, to end racism. White people can end racism overnight, but they won't. Why? Because they need the system that they have built for themselves to protect themselves from downfall. But we see how their system is falling apart, and so therefore they're going to become even more violently. You see, as I have stated before in my previous videos, when I talked about the history of white people, because I have studied their history, when it came to the Germanic tribes, when they was going up against the Roman legions, some of the Roman legions were surprised and out of their mind when they saw that those Germanic women were fighting alongside with their men. Those women were fighting alongside with their men while they left their children back home at the village. They didn't care if they was going to come back or not. It's just that they knew that they wanted to be there with their men down to the last day. So they're always going to be with their men. They're always going to agree with their men. They are not going to betray their men, no matter how hard they may act like they are betraying their men. You see, what white women is trying to do right now, they're trying to gain power. But at the same time, they know that they need their men, so they're not going to step away from their men completely. So she is just going to use you to get to what she wants. And when she gets to where she wants to be, then she is going to abuse you. And that is exactly what Jason Black has done. He exposed how she was abusing black men. He exposed that because of who she brought on and what she has said. And nothing is being cherry picked, as some of you may claim. Nothing is being selectively outraged over what she has just said. No, you just want to be contacted by her in order for you to get your numbers up. That's what that is. Let's just keep it a buck. You just want to be picked. You just want her to reach out to you so that you can be able to grow your platform, because you obviously, it's not a business move. It's not a move that's going to say it's well thought out and calculated. Because why in the world would you want to be associated with someone who would associate themselves with a group of people? Like I said, she likes Ben Shapiro. Why would you want to associate yourself with someone who have a disdain towards the black community? Why would you? You must be a self-hating individual yourself. You must be a self-hating individual yourself. And people like that should be watching you ever more closely. So that's all that I had to say about this woman. I've always thought that she was someone to be trusted, because like I said, you cannot trust these people with a long wooden handed spoon. You cannot trust them at all. They are not meant to be trusted. They are never meant to be trusted. They are not your friends. They are not your friend. They just a means to an end. To a certain extent. Because even if you view them as that, they will cause you a lot of damage. So this is the reason why we have to think black first, so that we can work together with our own people. When we put our own people on board, then we get a lot done, to the point that we do not need to look to white mommy and white daddy for help. This is why you have so many people that dislike Tariq Nasheed, because he does not look to white people for help. He looks within the black community for help. Tariq Nasheed is a self-starter businessman, and he did not seek the approval of white men. He did not. He did not seek the approval of white women. He did not. He was black first. He made sure to reach out to his people first for help, and his people saw that he was truly for black people. And guess what black people did in return? They helped this man level up, and this man, what he did in return, he gave back to the black community in a large way, and he continues to give back to the black community in a large way. He asked the black community for $1 million for the museum, and he said he was going to put up his own $1 million for the museum. Guess what that brother did? After he got that $1 million in 30 days, he put up his $1 million, and bam, a year later, a museum has came about. And that was all within black dollars. And Tariq Nasheed just said on his broadcast Sunday night, he said that he even received some form of donation from Dr. Bill Cosby towards the museum. Dr. Bill Cosby told him how happy he was with the success of the museum. That is how you build each other up. That is who we should be looking out to. We should be looking out towards each other, not towards white women, not towards white men. You should not be looking to white people when they are only using your words just to get you for their own come up, only to turn around and to slam on you. That's exactly what white people do. They fatten you up, they build you up, they make you look invisible, they make you feel invisible, only for them to turn around and to strip you, to take that rug from underneath you, and you looking at you, and you down on your back, looking up at the sky, trying to figure out what went wrong. You know what went wrong. You trusted that white individual. You trusted the very people who hate your people, who done a lot of damage to your people. That's what went wrong. You trusted them. Instead of looking to your brother, instead of looking to your sister. There's not a lot of toxic black men and black women out here. You all are so focused on the negative underbelly of the black community. That's where you all put your energy towards. Instead of looking out, because there are other successful black men and black women who are actually looking to work with other successful black men and black women. But we're so busy fighting with each other. And while we are fighting with each other, we are allowing the enemy to come in to further divide us. This girl Pearly is no good for us. She's no good for you. If anything, you should be blocking everything that woman has to say. Because guess what? There has been black men that says the same thing that she has been saying. The only difference is that she's white. You have a black woman, a black sister, Sister Shahrazad Ali. Her name should be embedded in every black man's brain. Her book should be in your library. Her book should be there for your sons to read. And your daughters to read as well. That's where we should be propping up women, black women like her, so that we can have more black women like her speaking out against the toxicity about the things that our black women are doing. I'm sick of the madness. I really am sick of the madness. I'm really tired of our people feeling that they have to have a white man or a white woman come in and tell them that what you're doing is good. Continue to keep it up. Just so that you can be like, oh wow, feeling all warm and fuzzy on the inside. Instead of looking to your brother over here or your sister over there. Stop giving platforms to black women that you know who are no good, who have a hatred towards black men. Stop inviting them on your panels. Stop inviting simps on your panels. Invite black men and black women who are trying to unify the black community on your panels. That's what you do. And provide solutions to that. And to continue to talk about those solutions. And watch yourself grow. It may take a small, it may start off small, but it will grow large. It will grow just like you take a pebble and you down a hill and you drop that pebble down the hill. It's going to snowball into something bigger. It's going to take a while, but it's going to get larger. And when it does get larger and heavier, it's going to be deadly. So we have to link up with like-minded individuals. Stop trying to link up with individuals who linking up with suspected white supremacists. Stop trying to link up with that. Because that means that you just a self-hating Negro. That's what you are. We are, like Malcolm X said, stop talking about our business in front of the presence of white men. You're inviting a white woman inside of a black space to talk about black people issues. What makes you think anything good is going to come out of that? Nothing good is going to come out of that. Everything negative is going to come out of that. And she's going to end up destroying you while she's going to the top. She don't like you. This Pearly chick don't like you, black men. She's using you. And I know some of you are going to say about black women. And like I said, I talk about black women as well. But I'm telling you, those who you surround yourself with is who you're going to judge by. So if you're surrounded by nothing but toxic women, you're going to judge women by that. I can say this. I could do the same thing about black men. I had something damaging happen to me twice by black men when I was a little girl. But do you see me blaming black men? Hating black men? No, I love my black men. I'm not going to let the two horrible incidents that took place to me when I was a little girl dictate to how I look on black men as a whole. I'm always going to make sure that I stand by the side of my brothers. Because brothers need sisters like me, and they need sisters who are going to think like me, to going to be there and to fight alongside them, not against them. We don't need no white woman to come in here to try to fight for you. Because if anything, she's going to take whatever she can from you, and she's going to take it and go back to that white man, and that white man is going to come in there and he's going to wring you up by the neck. That is what Pearly Things did. She brought in a well-known suspected white supremacist. And she knew that man was going to light her channel on fire. And yet at the same time, it exposed so many black men who ain't nothing but some self-hating Negroes, because they are still out here trying to defend her. She is not worth a woman defending. She is not worth defending yourself over. She is a nothing. In my eyes, she can have all the subscribers that she wants, but in my eyes, I don't trust her, and I don't view her as anything. You want to know why? Because she is a white woman that is not worthy of my trust. Because she is a white woman whose ancestors used to abuse our black men and our black boys, our black girls, and our black women. There's a book called They Was Her Property, and it was all about white women, how they view black women as their property. You should read that book. And it goes into details as to how sadistic they are. What they did to our people is sadistic. So I don't need no doggone woman, no doggone white woman to tell me anything that I don't already know. We don't need white women and white men in our spaces to try to correct us. We need to be correcting each other. This is how broken we are. We are badly broken. We have allowed them to break us. And now you actually think that they're going to come in and fix it? Man, are you stupid? Are you really? They literally broke. I broke this down in my videos. Go back and listen to them. I broke this down, gave you the years, gave you the names as to how our community fell apart and when it fell apart and who was brought in to help it to fall apart. You mean to tell me that these Caucasian people who deliberately came in to destroy our black community are now all of a sudden going to send in their white woman to unify it? Are you crazy? I talked about black women and their mental health and how they need to seek help. Black men, you need to do the same. You need to do the same thing as well. There's a lot of you that really need help, and I feel bad because a lot of you come from single mother homes. And I speak about single mothers as well. I speak about them all the time. And how horrible they are, and the damage that they bring to the black community. And I'm going to continue to speak on that. I want to continue to talk about that because I want our communities to get better. I want our communities to do better. I'm not going to bring in the enemy who is going to continue to hurt us. I'm not going to do that. I'm most certainly not going to associate with somebody who wants to associate themselves with well-known suspected white supremacists. I'm not going to do that. And neither should you.